it's really important to try and stay up to date with the importance of having a buy-sell agreement in place. If you co-own your business, the buy-sell agreement is really one of the most important documents that you'll sign. If you have a buy-sell agreement and it's out of date, or if it's unreviewed, or it focuses on the wrong issues, that really may be worse than not having an agreement at all. So it's very important. I mean, you have to get into the mindset of thinking about eventualities. For example, you could be talking about the death of one of the co-owners of the business, and it's not just death. The buy-sell agreement, which by the way is also called a business continuity agreement, controls the transfer of ownership in a business when certain lifetime or death events occur. So typically the trigger event would include things such as the death of an owner and the sale and transfer of stock from one owner to another, or to an outside third party. The buy-sell agreement can also describe an agreement about how transfers will take place during the owner's lifetime, such as an owner's permanent and total disability, maybe termination of employment, retirement, bankruptcies. So any of these really. And of course, you know, it's not that uncommon for these things to happen. These all happen in businesses. One example, let's assume an owner didn't die, but that one of the owners wanted to exit. So how do they agree on value of the business? Well, the buyout terms, or how they agree on things like that, or the design of the acquisition. Now, without a buy and sell agreement agreed to in advance, one of the owners' desire to exit can transform long-term owners into, well, adversaries. Really, the buy-sell agreement really sets the valuation method ahead of time, the terms of the purchase, and it outlines any tax planning that needs to occur. So in essence, a lifetime buyout of an owner is similar in design and consequence to the sale of the entire company to a third party. The valuation of the business, the terms of the sale, such as payment, security, they have all been negotiated beforehand and with an internal transfer. However, as you know, like the hard-nosed negotiation tactics and disputes, they can often ruin the value in a business. They ruin friendships and can even ruin the company. So the best way to avoid this is to agree in advance on the method of appraising the value and the payment terms. When all the co-owners are on the same page, they're looking out for the ultimate welfare of the company, and they don't know whether they're actually or ultimately going to be a buyer or seller at that time. So each of these events, the business continuity agreement, may require the business or the remaining owners to purchase the departing owner's stock, or it may give an option to the business or the remaining owners to buy the ownership interest, or it may even give the departing owner the option to acquire the company and to buy their ownership interest. So there are many different ways to structure the transfer, and doing so before an event happens will save a lot of time, emotion, and money in legal fees, if you will. So this takes a lot of guesswork out of the occasion. The agreement should provide a clear picture to a departing shareholder of how much money he or she will receive and how often, if it's in payment terms. And likewise, the remaining shareholders will know in advance the extent and the duration of their buyout obligations, and this allows both parties to plan their respective futures. And the agreement can and should establish the value of the stocks, set the limits of the conditions of the buyout, and give additional protection to all owners. So in short, the business continuity agreement is intended to protect all the owners by telling each to whom they sell, at what price and terms, and under what restrictions. But here's a word of caution. An out-of-date buy-sell agreement is often worse than no agreement, because it may require an owner to buy or sell based on inaccurate values or terms that may have made sense during boom times but may really hurt the business in tough times. And we urge owners to review their buy-sell agreement at least annually as part of the annual planning meeting with their advisors. An example of what you would look for in an annual review can be revealed in the questions you ask. Like, I'd say at a minimum you should ask questions like, does your agreement reflect when you want to depart? Does it give you the amount of cash you need to be financially secure? Is it designed to minimize income taxes to the seller and the buyer in the event of any type of lifetime ownership transfer? I mean, if you've not looked at a buy-sell agreement since you've signed it, then you really should get it out and check to see that it has at least, I'd say, about 4 provisions. The first is lifetime and death transfers of ownership. Under this, when must an owner sell or offer to sell, and when must an owner or the company buy, and when does it have the option to buy? The second provision would be, how will the agreement of the company and the value of the departing owner's interest be determined? A third provision is, does the agreement mandate the use of an independently determined fair market value at the time of transfer? If not, then the value may favour one of the owners and may not treat both partners equally. There's a risk of that. And the fourth is, say, well, what are the terms of the buyout? Things like length of payment, down payment, payment terms, and so on. So these 4 provisions should be, I believe, should be in all agreements. So all this forward planning can be a bit morbid, okay, but the huge plus side is it forces the business owners to look at the business more objectively, and hopefully in a mindset more focused on retaining and building value with the goal of a future exit. This can't be a bad thing.